Welcome to the conversations that help us become better partners, parents, friends, and humans, because every relationship is a chance to heal, grow, and belong. Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions Publishing, where we are helping the world experience what's possible. Here today to help me with that mission are some of the amazing authors of one of our newest books. I'm even going to share this cover with y'all for a minute here so you can see it. Brave Families, the ultimate guide to long-lasting, loving relationships. Huge congrats to our lead author, Jean Voice Dart, and all of our amazing co-authors today. Shout out to Davide De Angelis. Look at this beautiful cover art, you guys, that he did. Like, I love collaborating with these amazing artists. I can feel this one every time I look at it. And I have a really big thank you to move out to Jean Voice Dart. Jean, you had such a big mission and vision for this project. Thank you so much for everything that you've put into it. I am honored to be here helping you with this. You gathered a stellar group of amazing expert co-authors to help you with a pretty darn big topic, an important one. And we're excited to be here talking about it. I've got some cool people in my Zoom room, you guys. So Sherman and Samis Daly help disconnected Christian couples rebuild trust, intimacy, and connection, so their marriage doesn't just survive, it's restored to thriving. Chris Bystransky is with me. He's an author, attorney, Ironman triathlete, and creator of 2 programs to help families grow wealth, improve health, and increase their impact on the world. And Jennifer Lauren Burkhart is here. She's a founder of Intuit Love, a holistic therapist, healer, and lineage clearing specialist dedicated to helping families transcend trauma and return to their natural state of awareness. Oh my goodness. Holy cannoli. You guys are amazing. I can't wait to talk to you. Okay, Sherman and Samis, let's start it off with you. Can you give us a little bit about the why behind your chapter that you wrote for Brave Families?
That's a good question. I tell you, my biggest why was a result of the state of where we are in time. It's in a day and age where people struggle in their marriages and they struggle to make the relationship work. And there's a lot of fears or worry. Will we make it? Can we last? How do we deal with these challenges? And a part of my book was try to encourage those who may be struggling, who maybe feel like they want to give up or feel like we won't make it. So that was my objective, to try and encourage those who are in that space to realize you can make it. There is a way to go through this. It may be difficult, but it can be done.
It's a beautiful objective. This is such an important topic for people. And, if they're listening and they're struggling, and I really enjoyed reading through your chapter because I could feel the passion you both have for the topic. And, gave me a little bit of goosebumps because some of the things that you're helping people with are total game changers, like can really bring people back together. Samis, do you want to add your little bit of why there?
Yeah, just to piggyback off what Sherman said, it's really something that we feel like God has just kind of journeyed us to. We didn't, start out saying we were going to do this and that. We just found ourselves struggling, and so the journey has been just God driven. And, we just feel a passion to help others. When we needed help, we couldn't find it. So our passion is to help others to navigate and to flourish and not feel like it's the end. Marriages are under attack. It's so difficult in this day and age, like Sherman said. But there is hope. It takes work, but there is hope. And so we are just extremely proud to be part of this book. It's a wonderful collection by so many awesome authors. So we're just honored and privileged to be here.
Thank you, Samis. You guys, you're just making me think about the topic in general. You guys really kind of go beyond like couples therapy. Like we're talking about something a little different. Would one of you comment on what you think is that one thing you want people to know about the difference and how you approach it? Like if I was coming into this maybe first baby step, what would it be?
I would say the thing that we'd love people to get, I think an analogy of sports is good. Um, when you're an athlete, you have to train, you have to do things if you want to go for the Olympics or whatever. You have to train, you have to develop skills. And we don't think of marriage that way. We think we have this dream that we get in and everything works flawlessly. And in reality, there's skills you got to learn in marriage. And in order for it to be long lasting, you have to develop certain skills, certain attitudes, certain ways of acting, of caring, of understanding. And unfortunately, we default to the habits and the skills that we grew up with in our families. So if you grew up in a family where it was a lot of turmoil, you probably won't have a lot of good examples to draw from. So you may pull from what you've seen your friends or family do, but the challenge is what we've all been taught. And if you don't have a good background, chances of you having a good relationship is slim to none. So, we find that most of the people who have divorce came from divorced families. There are examples, and then you have long-lasting, strong family bonds where your parents were long-lasting. They did it for a long time. You saw the examples, to stick it out. Um, things don't fall apart. It may look bad, but if you can work through it. But so I think the biggest thing I want to tell people is it's skills. It's a different way of looking at marriage, but when you think of the skills it takes to be successful at work, and all the things that we pursue, it's hard, but you learn to develop what is necessary to make it successful. So that's a different mindset that we're projecting.
Oh, and I love it. Thank you. And thank you both. Thanks for being in the project, for saying yes to this, and for bringing your beautiful work to the book. It's really, these chapters are phenomenal, you guys. It's so fun to hear from the authors and hear them talk about the passion. So we're going to move over to Chris. And Chris, give me a little bit of the why behind the chapter that you wrote.
Well, thank you very much, Laura. And Sherman, Samis, thank you very much for your comments. I've been married 16 years, and I agree 100% with everything you just walked through. So thank you very much. But my story, my background, and the why I put together my chapter is that I didn't want my daughters to go through the same sacrifices, go through the same struggles that I went through developing my formal education, growing my corporate career, and then being subject to the whims of the corporate management, because I've been through 2 layoffs. And after working so many years, 15 years in a corporate world, to just be laid off with basically nothing from the company, I didn't want my kids to go through that. So I wanted to come up with a way to teach my kids from a young age different ways to make money rather than the traditional way of going to school, getting a good education, getting a job with a company, and working the rest of your life to fund that 401k retirement plan and buy the house and buy the car. There are many different ways that people can use to grow wealth, increase their income, to live the life they want, and spend their time the way they want with their loved ones, with their parents, with their kids, and really have a more fulfilling and active life rather than the traditional path. So my focus was, how do I teach my daughters advanced financial lessons early on? And it's very difficult to teach financial concepts to anyone, let alone kids. So I came up with a simulation that I did with my daughter when she was starting when she was 6 years old, just around the house, to teach her different ways to think about creating money and income. And it's been 5, 6 years since that time. And her mind has expanded and she's thinking about other ways of making money rather than just going to that job and training her time for a set amount of money. Because we all know that costs of living are rising much faster than wages or salaries. And we're at a disadvantage if we don't take additional steps to train ourselves and train our kids so that we can be prepared.
Oh my gosh, this topic. I love what you have created in this topic and the inspiration you give to parents to go ahead and educate early, because I think it wasn't until my adulthood, and I don't even know at that point if I was getting much education either, because there was a generation of parents who were doing exactly what you said earlier because that's what they were taught. And there wasn't any of this wealth education coming down the line there, right? But so I love it's like you're stopping the pattern and you're just saying no, like this is what we can do, this is how we can educate our kids, get them this information, like you said, allow their minds to expand about it. What else do you want us to know about this topic?
Well, it's important to get hands-on training and to really think about different ways to do things and actually do things that help you think about other ways to create money. So, for example, we could go into a classroom and learn how to ride a bike from a book or from an instructor, or we could go and learn how to bake by reading a book. But it's not until we actually do those things that we actually start to understand and can repeat them and can take them to the next level and apply what we've learned. So there's a lot of different things that parents can do to really not only give their kids the education that schools simply fail to do because they're busy doing other things. I think this is too much of an ask of the formal education process to give our kids the education on how to make money. There's just too much going on. Teachers have too many things to do nowadays. So I think it's up to the parents to really take charge and be accountable for the financial education of their kids. And it's very simple things that can be done. And I started this simulation with my daughter where I gave her jobs at home and then I transitioned her into being an investor at home, not with real money. She wasn't investing in the stock market, but the concepts are the same. And it exposed her to, number one, trading her time for money in a job, and then understanding how assets can grow wealth and grow income. So she understands both and many other things that she has taken to the next level because she started with jobs at home and then investments at home. And that's what the chapter's about.
Yeah, I love it, Chris. Thank you. Thanks for just being here to share about this. Thanks for saying yes to this amazing project. Jennifer, let's come over to you now. Tell us a little bit about your why.
Well, Laura, thank you so much. I really am excited to be here with everyone. And so far with Sherm and Samis and Chris and everything that you've all brought up, it really just all hits home for me. I'm not sure, you know, what more can we give except for like a really nice stable home life that that everybody here is is really bringing forth. Like I wish I had the parents that stayed together, and I wish I had the financial backing where I could have received that education when I was younger. And the reason why I brought this chapter to this book is because of the struggles like that I've gone through as a child, and then watching as a therapist, all the different facets that children and families go through. I have two children of my own that one was born with a physical disability, And then I have another one who developed a disability in his spine, scoliosis, later on in life. And I couldn't deny that there was a link between the two, that, you know, my first son who was born with spina bifida, and then my second son who was born with, you know, his brother, born like 23 months apart, has scoliosis later. And, you know, I had to do a lot of deep internal understandings of not only where I came from, and the hurts and wrongs that were within my entire family and lineage, really come to a deeper understanding of where they came from and the compassion around it, and just a complete acceptance of it, and really feel all of it, just the power and intensity of it to keep somebody where they are, and to feel like there is no way out, or there is not a way through to the other side. And so many of us have this perceived notion that once you have a diagnosis, or there's a predetermination on what is possible, that we are to stay with that expectation. And so through my own search, I was already a therapist at the time, trying to figure out, you know, what more was there? What more is there? What I had to find and go through is I had to go really deep within myself, and I still am doing it today, to really understand, you know, where all of this came from, and how important it is to go back to the original creation of when it happened. And healing is multifaceted. There's no one exact way to go about it. And through these experiences of my own healing that has needed to happen, the experiences of my sons, I have found that the more that we can keep presence and really allow ourselves to go through our own process, the more that's going to benefit everyone. And we kind of just break these patterns, or these loops that everyone is rising up from here. Like, everybody has a story here, and everybody has a purpose. And if we can find our purpose in shifting these loops, or these trauma loops that we call it in the work that I do, if we can shift those and rise out of them, then we are really contributing back into society, and really making this place amazing for everybody. And so we all keep vibrationally shifting and elevating. And so why I did this was just to get to that root understanding of how important it is for all of us to go back to, like, the very beginning of when this all started for each of us. And for me, it was really going back to my mother's womb, like all the things that she brought in, and all the things that my father brought in, and the combination of their energies coming together, and all the things that didn't exactly get resolved with them, that was passed on to me. And then I came into something with my husband, and then I have these beautiful children that I'm watching are going through certain things within themselves, and struggles and unanswered questions, and almost like you kind of see behind the veils, like, why does this keep happening, and why does this look so similar to what, you know, I see my mom went through, or you know, why does scoliosis run in a family, or why do these things happen? And I just had to really stop and go, gosh, you know, we're all so connected, and we have a responsibility to heal. We have a responsibility to give back, and to really look at ourselves and be present, and really help ourselves be the best version that we can be, so that not only we're inspiring, but we're all looking at each other and going, yeah, what is our purpose? What is the greater purpose here? And that matters. And so if I can bring that through a simple chapter and through my work, in a multifaceted way, then hey, that's the work I'm bringing. And I'm honored, like, to be here
and you
with it
also
all.
did it in that beautiful answer as well. So like you guys just keep showing up and doing it and bringing it and doing that beautiful work. Oh my goodness. So thank you. Thank you for that. Thanks for taking us on that journey. You mentioned taking responsibility. I love playing in the sandbox with you all because you do it every day. You all wake up every day taking responsibility for your awareness process. I have a thank you for all of you today. You know, not just for saying yes to bringing your work to the book, but, you know, I challenged you all to put that vulnerable story in there. And then I challenged you to bring it to a tool, a practical strategy that the reader could experience. You all did this so brilliantly. The book is other level, not to mention that Jean has brought a comprehensive resource directory into this book that I think is like no other. So just to our listeners today, just wait till you get a load of this book and all of the brilliance in it. And Jennifer, all of you actually, but Jennifer was just making me think of the awareness that it takes. And all of you are dropping such golden nuggets of awareness today. Chris, I'm going to start this next question with you. You know, transformation takes awareness, right? Awareness is everything. With awareness, we have a choice. So when it comes to your family and relationships, give me an idea of one of the ways you've practiced that awareness, one way that you've shown up and practiced that.
Well, when I was growing up, we were taught that education was the key. We didn't have a lot of money growing up, single parent household. We didn't have much. And the way I was taught, it was ingrained in me, was to go to school, get a great education, get that job. And I did that. But then I realized I want to say it took a lot of courage or a lot of humility to look at other ways that people were making money and living the lives they wanted to lead. Right. So I was able to look deep inside and realize that there's other ways. What I've been taught for 20, 30 years is not the only way. What my mom and my brother believed is not the only way. So to make money. So I was able to branch out, do these other things, and then share that with them and share it with my kids, because that was very important that my kids did not follow in the same footsteps that I made, even though it was successful to a point. So I just wanted to make sure that whatever transformation I went through later in life, I wanted my kids to go through that at the earliest possible time. And I would like all my family members to do that if possible.
Yeah, why not? As many people as possible to go through. That's pretty badass too, if you think about it. But just drawing everyone's attention to the awareness it took for him to, you're waking up in a moment of where, and you say, you know what, this isn't the only way to do it. There's the magical aha awareness moment, and not everybody gets to that place of awareness. So it's life changing. That perspective shift is life changing. That's what this topic turns me on, you guys. Like, I get all excited about awareness because it's everything. It changes lives. Thank you, Chris. So coming back to you now, Jennifer, on this, which is, it's going to be a lovely way to continue what you were starting to tell us about. It's even in your bio, lineage clearing specialist, and you bring some awareness to that's possible. And in another interview, they started to talk about the research that's being done on DNA that's coming down the line. Like, this is big stuff, you guys, big, awesome science stuff that's starting to say, hey, pay attention to this. So anyway, getting back to this awareness question for you, Jennifer, when it comes to your relationships, like, what's been one of the ways that you're practicing when you're showing up in those relationships? And I'm going to get you to unmute before you tell us your amazing brilliance.
I love it. Being present. I mean, the now moment. It's, it's so many people talk about it. It's the moment your awareness comes in, and when you allow yourself to just be present with people and really hear them and just be present to your own experience of what's happening when you're with them and how we're reflections, and how they are helping you just as much as you're trying to help them. And that awareness, as we move back into this deeper understanding of how we're all connected, and the research, as you so beautifully mentioned, that's coming down the line. It's in energetic, in I have a lot of practices behind me on purpose, because my purpose was to look at all aspects of this and the ancestors and everything that came before us. I mean, everything that we're doing. I mean, we're going to be talked about as coming before others later, right? So, everything matters. Like the awareness, the presence. How can I make myself a better version of who I already am today? And how can I refine? And so we make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. Never perfect. And if I can be present in those mistakes and shift instead of being a lot of the things that were shown to me, like, Chris so eloquently said, it's just that, where can I be better? And where can I come into that presence of honoring my ancestors, understanding where these things came from, how we can't deny physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, that there's repeated patterns. Can we shift them? Can we bring them back into the eye of the storm with awareness instead of living in these polarities? That's it.
I love it, Jennifer. I mean, think about that awareness. If more people just paused and said, well, how can I come to this better? How could I be better? And, believe me, not every human is asking that question of themselves. So it's pretty a big deal to have the moment where you've paused and asked the question. I think curiosity is an awareness superpower. And so when we can drop back into curiosity about things, that kind of awareness is also life-changing. Okay, so Samis, you want to kick this question off first, the awareness question? So when it comes to your relationships, what's been one way that you can help us get that little window into your day-to-day practice?
Gosh, what a loaded question. And just, Chris and Jennifer are just, it's so much in sync, right? For us in our looking at it from a marriage perspective, we've just gained so much knowledge and just had to learn, like Sherman said, how to do marriage, the skills, right? Just like any thing you perform, anything you do, you do have to think about where you are, where you're starting. You get help along the way. Even professional athletes have coaches. We're the coaches, right? But the player has to think about what is the body alignment? What is my alignment? What is my mindset? And so we've taken from a lot of different philosophies and authors and experts in relationships. And one of the things that is really prominent is, and it's kind of what Chris and Jennifer were saying, where are you? What are you starting with? As far as marriage, it's more about, my marriage is more about how do I handle things? What's going on inside of me that is sometimes triggering, if we're in arguments, continued cycles going back and forth with the same old thing. I have to stop and think, what's going on in me? What's happening inside of me? Where does this come from? Why does this trigger me? So that's one of the biggest things I think we try to help couples slow time down. And that's the thing, being present and analyzing what's happening. Why is this creating this feeling? And why am I responding that way? Is it because that's what I was taught? Is that what was modeled to me? And how's that serving me now? So it's this, yeah, the awareness is huge. And bringing it to real time. And what is it that I need to do? Did I leave out anything? Yeah, it's such a complex and I think just enlightening way of looking at it. And for as an individual, but then it's definitely necessary for relationships because, what are you bringing forth and why is it coming forth the way it is? And then are you present for the other person? Are you allowing them to be themselves and go through a discovery? And are you helping them be curious about what they're going through? And, are you curious about what they're going through?
Yeah. Sherman, you want to add anything?
Yeah, I'll add to that a scripture that kind of rides behind a lot of what we do is Hosea 4:6 that talks about where God says to the people of Israel that they're perishing because of lack of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes on to say they lack knowledge because they rejected knowledge. And we're in an information age where there is so much information. And one of the big things is a lot of people, after they leave college or after they leave school, they never read a book. They don't go and gain more knowledge. And a lot of what we're talking about here about being awareness is learning. We're in a world where there's so much information, and you don't know what you don't know. And
Until you know it.
until you know it. And it's kind of like what we're talking about. Chris talked about that, he learned something different that he's teaching his children. Jennifer talked about the awareness about what's been. We all have to be willing to learn about what we don't know. And people get comfortable in our culture. We get comfortable with circumstances. We were designed to grow. We were designed to grow, and when you aren't growing mentally, has an impact on you. And I guess what we're all saying is that be aware of the things or the areas in your life personally that you need to change and grow because that's what's going to make you better. That's what's going to make you happy. It's going to give you the fulfillment that we're all looking for.
Yes, thank you for that. You are all so amazing. Lifetimes worth of experiences, knowledge, the way that you bring your work to the world with your hearts. I mean, I can feel it. I can feel it from you all. I can feel it from every author in this book. I want to finish up today with a question to help people understand your work and specifically the tool that you're bringing to the book and really just give everyone kind of that last words kind of message, what you really want them to know today about this. Jennifer, what's this most important thing you want people to know about miracles being our natural state?
Yeah, Laura, I love that question, right? And our origination, where we came from, is miraculous. And if you think about how we're created, right? There's like an implantation of energy coming from mom and dad, and it becomes implanted within a womb, and it's a womb of creation. And In men, it's called hara, like it's our, but we're all connected, right? So we have this beautiful masculine and feminine energy that comes together, and then we get to bring it in and mix it together to become us, and we have information from both sides of the family. And this tool, the tool that, I chose to bring in was one aspect of that. Like if we are able to go back to our mother's womb and just see all of the programming and everything that came in and everything that made us up, and kind of like go back and dismantle it all, and anything that's needing to be healed, to be healed and made whole. And if we can imagine that spreading out like a web across all space and time, how that can shift and change our very perception in a moment, and how everything lines up for us from that day forward. It's like we're rebirthed in every single moment. And that is the miracle. Like if we all are able to just stop, breathe into the moment, shift it right there and feel it, that's like a return to your authentic self, that place where you came from. And that's the womb. That's the point of creation. So we all have these inspiring techniques. And if this is one thing that I can offer to the world, it's just to take that time to present yourself and be the miracle that you came here to be.
Jennifer, these are no small potatoes tools you got. Like we just went right to the source of creation. Like, think about this for a second. This is such big topics, and really awesome. Again, one read experience through a chapter, a tool like Jennifer's, Chris's, Sherman and Samis, like one read through, one experience may just change everything. Like this is that powerful. Sherman and Samis, what's the most important thing you want to leave people with about how to restore a marriage?
Okay. I'll start here. I have to say this. The biggest thing that you need to catch is you got to be willing to have it. I mean, it starts with a desire. And in my life, I went to God and struggled, and I heard I need to learn. I need to understand my wife. And we're in a world where men are told you can't understand women, and women told that they already understand men, and neither is true. And that's part of the problem. The mantra that we're being taught doesn't fit the reality of our circumstances. And the truth is, like anything else, whatever relationship you're in, it can succeed. It will require for you to take some steps that's uncomfortable, take some steps that you don't like, but it can't be resolved. It can be resolved. Most of the times where everybody tells you, oh, just give up. Okay. But in life, everything that you pursue and achieve, you've had to work through it. You've had to learn certain things. Marriage is no different. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You're gonna hit bumps, you're gonna hit problems, and that's normal. But as you grow through each one, you overcome each one, the bond grows closer. And conflicts were never designed to tear you apart. They were designed to show you, hey, we're disconnected here. We're not in sync here. And every place in your relationship where there is no conflict, it's great. It's where you're out of sync that the conflict is. And when you work through those conflicts, things go back to being great. And a lot of people think because there's problems that it's over or we can't make it. No. The problems just show you there's an issue here. And what I want to say to people, take the time, learn, okay? We've been having millions of marriages since time on this earth. Believe me, there's things out there that you don't know that can make your marriage great, but you just don't know. And if you don't go looking, you'll never find out. So whatever it is, I guarantee you, whatever relationship issue you're facing, there's a solution for it. You just don't know what it is. So I encourage you and ask God. He's got an answer for everything that you pursue. Mm-hmm.
Very inspiring. Samis, how do you want to close that out?
Yeah, it's just we love when couples come in and you see the disconnect. You can see it. It is tangible. They come in like backs to each other and not wanting to touch. And then we hear their story. We do rely on a lot of heavenly intervention because sometimes it seems hopeless, but there is nothing that is hopeless with God. He says, come to him, ask. We have not because we ask not, right? And it's just so rewarding to see after talking with us, having a session, going through what's their biggest thing at the moment. They leave, and I think, gosh, maybe 99% leave saying, I feel like there's hope.
And there is hope.
And there is hope because, you know, like Sherman said, marriage isn't new. There's been struggles. There have been, you know, challenges, but the best marriages have certain things that they're doing. And that's where we try to help discover. And so if it just, it's, I think the takeaway here is don't try to do it alone. Get help. You know, if one section, because we've gone through coaches, we still get coached. The coaches get coached. But there's help. And if there's a desire to have a fulfilling marriage, a fulfilling relationship, then that's a beginning of something that people can take and turn it into something beautiful.
Thank you, Samis. All right, Chris, tell us the most important thing you want us to know about that family wealth creation.
Well, we all want to make money, and it's not out of greed. It's not out of greed that we want to make more money. We need to provide for ourselves and for our families. And we also, by making money, it gives us the opportunity to spend our time and energy and resources to help those around us. How much better can we make our family? How much better can we make our neighbors? How much better can we make our community? And we have gifts. All of us have gifts that we're either using or we're not. And if we have the opportunity to tap into the gifts that we have, to pursue opportunities that help create more value, not only for us, but for other people as well. And then we could turn that into the ability to share more with those that we love and in our community. Then we should take that opportunity. And we're all going to learn to make money in one way or another, whether that's to go get a job to provide for ourselves or to create income in other ways. And maybe we're doing it when we're 10 years old with a lemonade stand, or maybe we're doing it way too late when we're 60, 70, 80 years old, when we don't have the benefit of time to compound our knowledge into greater wealth to help people. So if we're going to learn about money, let's learn skills that can actually help us, and let's learn them as early as possible in life.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I have a favorite money mantra. I love having enough money, time, energy, and resources to generously take care of myself and everyone I love and serve. And I love the feeling of a statement like that, that includes money, because, to be able to serve in a bigger way takes money sometimes, but it also takes all the other things. Chris, oh my goodness, Jennifer, Sherman, Samis, thank you so much for what you all do in the world. Thank you for being here today to share it with everyone. This is way more than a book. This is a very generous community. And maybe you heard something today that one of them said that's just giving you the goosebumps, or you've got a question, or maybe you need support in one of these ways. Please come on down into the show notes. I have everybody here hooked up with their websites. Go explore all of the amazing things these authors are up to. They are there to answer the question. Reach out for the support that you need, right? There's so much going on in their worlds. And of course, we hope that you come on over and grab your beautiful copy of this book. I've got the link below for the book, Brave Families. Lastly, to all of you, remember, your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it is time to be brave. See you next time, everyone.
Can I just say thank you, Laura, for orchestrating this and pulling it together, and just over the months, just, corralling us and teaching us and mentoring us. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You got that right in before I stopped the recording. So thank you. Thank you for the thank you. And thank you to all of you.